In this low-code feature focus, we're going to talk about building an email body token in an action form. This feature will allow you to create a customized email body that contains only the information that you want it to contain, and it builds it up and ready to put directly into an outbound email send. So let's get started. First, I'll demonstrate the working solution. We have a form that asks for first name, last name, email, phone, subject, and message. This is the standard contact form. And I've set it up so that only the email is required. So if I put in my email address, it's all set to go. And let's say I also put in my first name. When I click Send Now, this particular form isn't actually sending an email, but it is displaying the email body that I want to send. And so it says, thank you for contacting us. And it shows the first name is Dale, and thank you from the Plantin App team. Only the fields that have data are finding their way into the email body. So if I add, for example, a last name and click Send Now, notice that the email expands to include additional information. If I put in a phone number, each time I do that, it expands the email. Anytime that a field is blank, it just isn't included in the email body. And so as I fill in the form, the email contains all of the fields that are filled in, and if any fields that are omitted are just skipped in the output. So let's go behind the scenes and see how this is built. I have the action form open for editing here in the background, and so we can see all our fields. And there isn't anything special about this except that I've added a email body, a static text field that will display this email content for us during our debugging phase. When it's all operational, we'll hide this field so that it exists on the form, but nobody sees it. All the action that's necessary to make this happen occurs in the Send Now button. So let's see how that works. The email body that we're building up is called the email body. That's its name, and so we're using that as a place to hold all this information. And these first 7 or 8 steps does that work. So let's open it up and see what happens. There's an inject data, and what we're doing is setting the email body, that same field, to the value, thank you for contacting us. Here's the information we collected. This email body can contain anything you want, and we'll build it up step by step. So that's the first one. It just sets it to the opening paragraph. The second one is where the interesting work starts to take place. We have another inject data, and we do this conditionally. We only execute if the first name is not equal to blank. So the exclamation point and the equal sign means not equal. So when the first name is not blank, then we modify the email body to contain everything it already contains, the email body, plus this additional phrase, the first name tag and the first name token. And we repeat this over and over again for each of the fields. So if the last name is not blank, the email body gets extended to be whatever the value of the email body is plus the last name. And we continue with the phone, the subject, the message, and when we're all done, we close out the email by setting the email body equal to the email body plus a couple of blank lines and thank you from the Plantin App team. So all the work for building that up is done in these inject data statements. And finally, I have this update form Ajax. This is just for testing and debugging, and it's going to cause the form to stop and redraw. So we get the effect that we're after. We refresh the screen, and any data that we put in finds its way into the email body. And send now. So thank you for contacting us. Here's the information, Dale Warner, and thank you from the Plantin App team. So this gets the email body built up, and now we figure out how to use it. So we modify the Send Now button, and here's all the statements we were just working with. We remove this AJAX statement. We don't need it to stop there anymore. And in the send email that we're sending out, instead of any other content, we just put the email body token into the body of the email. And so when the email goes out, that whole built up thing that we just finished now shows up as the body of the email. There's one other change that we're going to want to make, and that is to change this that we had from a static text field to a hidden data field with a custom value. By doing that, the field no longer appears on the form, and so while it's present and will get built up as it did before, it will not appear on the screen, and the email will contain the content that was built up during those conditions. In this low-code feature focus, we covered building an email body token in an action form. That same technique can be used to build up fields to be used in other purposes, but we're using it specifically in this case to be used as the body of an email. If you'd like to see other content in our low-code feature focus, please leave a suggestion in the comments below, and we look forward to helping you in recording those videos as well.